So last time we quickly hurried through the answer Savitri had given. We start that thing over again and see some details. A heavenly queen consenting to his will, she clasped his feet by her enshrining hair. A heavenly queen consenting to his will, she clasped his feet by her enshrining hair, enveloped in a velvet cloak of love, and answered softly like a murmuring lute. All now is changed, yet all is still the same. Now, of course, this is a paradoxical line. He says simultaneously, at once he says change and same. In one breath, she is saying both. All is changed and all is the same. But basically, what it conveys is, yes, surely all has changed. Our old outlook towards things is not there now anymore to look at things around. We are seeing the world, we are seeing the course of time, we are seeing relationships and all that thing now with a different vision, different perspective. Different truth has entered into our being, and it is with that truth that we are now looking at the world all around us. You see, the world is the same, its meaning has changed for us. The trees are there, birds are there, animals are there, but now we see them in a different light. They are not the same kind of a thing, they are not the same creatures, same objects of what we were understanding them to be so far. They have acquired a new significance, new meaning, new content for us. It is not a bird, it is some kind of a spirit of aspiration from the world of life which is rising to receive the powers and beauty and joy of the spirit. It is that now what we are seeing in it. It is not just the bird which is flying around. It is not just the river which is flowing around. The river is carrying the waters of heaven in it. The radiant waters. That is what the Veda says. The rivers are basically the Vedic rivers. When it says Vedic river, they are in fact carrying the heavenly radiance in them. So it is not the same river what we are seeing. I am seeing now the light of heaven which is flowing to them. The mountain, stability, is calm, is strength, is poise, is of a different type altogether. So the same mountain now, it has acquired a different meaning. It is not only that I have seen it in my view like that, it is not my subjective feeling or the objects having changed, but the objects themselves have changed. That is more important. It is not my subjective understanding of nature. The nature itself has now undergone a change. What it was there, it has become now different. Therefore, all now is changed, yet all is still the same. So it is not only our subjective viewpoint which got altered, but the objects themselves have now received the true power, the true contents of the spirit in them, and it is that which they are expressing here. Lo, we have looked upon the face of God, our life has opened with divinity. That is what it means. So everywhere we see the presence of the divine. It is He who is occupying everything all around here, you see. In other words, this world has acquired the meaning of reality. Meaning of reality. People were saying until now it is asat, it is illusion, it is dream, it is maya, it is mithya. No, 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 it is not all that. It is the reality of the Divine Himself expressing in a certain manner. Now, that kind of a real change is the irrevocable change which has taken place not only in Savitri but all around the world. We have borne identity with the Supreme and known His meaning in our mortal lives. That is the basic thing. What He wants us to be in this mortal life. It is that now we have understood. Mortal life is for a certain purpose. He has put some purpose in it, and it is that purpose now we have understood. It is there not for nothing. This creation is there not for nothing, but it is to express the Divine Himself. It is the manifestation of the transcendental aspects in the creation. It is that we are seeing all around here. We have born identity. Now this of course happens when you have identified yourself with the Supreme. That is the precondition. For this meaning to be understood, you have to see it from the point of view of the identification you have with the Supreme. How does the Supreme look at these things? That you can see, that you can know only when you have identified yourself with the Supreme. For the Supreme, it is not grief, it is not pain, it is not suffering. There is something else. It is not mortality, it is not ignorance. It is something else for Him. And it is that which we have now understood. Because of the identity, Supreme does not say in that manner at all, you see. It will be kind of a perverted Supreme if He sees that, you see. Our love has grown greater by that mighty touch. Now, grown greater. Was there something lacking in their love earlier? In the love of Satyavan and Savitri, they had to recognize each other's identity. They knew what it is. The moment they saw, it was in fact what we have been calling love at first sight. They immediately recognized their age-old identity. So there was nothing lacking there. But now that love has become different because of their identity with the Supreme. Identification with each other and recognition is one thing, but that identification and recognition seen in the light of identification with the Supreme. Because we have identified ourselves with the Supreme, therefore our relationship now has acquired a greater meaning, a different meaning. Our love has become greater because of that. In other words, all the limitations of the mortal creature which are there, those have gone away when we have identified ourselves with the Supreme. Our love has grown greater. In fact, that is the most paradoxical thing. How can it be that their love can still become greater, larger, bigger? That mighty touch of the Supreme, it is that which has made our love greater. And learned is heavily significant. Yes, until now we are not fully aware of the significance of our love. We have identified, we have recognized each other, etc., all those things are there. But now with this touch of the Divine, our love is something which is heavenly here upon earth. Yet nothing is lost of mortal love's delight. Yes, there is a truth content even in a mortal's love. There is something, maybe it's a transcription, maybe it is a remote copy of what it should be, but it is there. It may be a copy of copy also, our love in the mortal creation. But now, with that identification, it becomes the original. It is no more a copy of copy. It becomes the original document, so to say. It is that which you have to happen. And that is the great significance of this identification with the Supreme. Yet nothing is lost of mortal love's delight. So this is not a vital love, this is not a sexual love, this is not ordinary kind of human love at all. It is a transcendent love which is getting expressed in the mortal life. In the mortal life, you see. Heaven's touch fulfills, but cancels not our earth. Our bodies need each other in the same lust. This is what we were talking last time. In the same lust. Our bodies need each other in the same lust. This is something absolutely tremendous. Yes, we need each other for a certain kind of a fulfillment. It is not you alone or I alone who can accomplish that fulfillment. Heaven's touch fulfills. That fulfillment will come when we have come together in the same lust, in the same mold. Now, metaphysically, this is a very powerful line. Our bodies need each other in the same. He doesn't say we need each other in the same lust. He doesn't say that. He says our bodies need each other in the same lust. It is at the physical level that they had to mold themselves into each other. At the physical level. It is not the vital, not the mental, but down to the earth, so to say. It is there that identification has to be there together. In other words, why generally, in all the cases, what we have been seeing throughout the history of spirituality, that body and soul, they have remained separate. Maybe soul has identified itself with the soul, which is not, so to say, uncommon. But the manner in which a soul identifies itself with the soul has also to be for the body to identify with the body. That is important. It is that which is required. Then it becomes the last. Now, as I was telling you last time, this word last is a very significant word. I mean, forget about lust and all that, but it is a very powerful word. What is it that he is trying to convey? He is not trying to convey. What is that we are trying to understand from it, rather? What is at last? First thing. At last is really the last. It is not mind to mind needing each other. It is not heart to heart needing each other. The last meeting has to be body to body. When can that happen? And that last, mind to mind is relatively easy. Heart to heart is also relatively easy. But body to body is the most difficult thing. And that can happen only in the last, not the same last, in the last. The last is the supramentalized body. We need body to body in that supramental consciousness for carrying out the divine work. They have to become supramental bodies. That is the last. When that kind of a transformation takes place, then there is the complete fulfillment. It fulfills when they become supramaterialized, these bodies. There is a kind of a complementarity of one body with the other body. That complementarity is what is to be achieved ultimately, and that can be achieved in the same ultimate last, the supermind. When that is done, then there is a real physical identification. The relationship is now a supramental relationship. It is not a vital relationship at all, not a physical relationship, not a mental relationship. That is the important thing. But then, the most powerful word is here, need. Yes, bodies are supramaterialized. Why are they needed? Why that has to happen? Now, let us quickly see some of the possibilities. He says, our bodies, our. You take in a very generalized sense, what does our mean? Or in the immediate context, here we have got male and female, Satyavan and Savitri in the physical form, and they need each other. For what? Not for procreation. It is for creation. For creation. We need each other for creation, new possibilities which have to come into expression, not for procreation. That is the most important thing. Creation. Our bodies will become supramaterialized body in the last, and from that point onward will be the beginning of a creation. For that creation we need each other. All along, at every level, we have got they, so to say, Satyavan and Savitri in the immediate context, or in a general sense, you have got presence and power. Presence and power. If you see the metaphysical sense, presence and power, being and force, being and force, presence and power, soul and nature. Male, female is constantly there throughout. Soul and nature, Ishvara and Ishwari, God and Goddess. You have got Purusha and Prakriti. You have Brahma and Maya. Male, female, constantly Brahma and Maya. Krishna and Radha, the adorer and the adored, they are together. Shiva and Shakti or Parvati, female. Vishnu and Lakshmi. They are there always. Bhagavan and Bhagavati, the goddess of delight, of happiness, of joy. Bhagavan, who holds all the delight in him. And of course, Satyavan and Savitri, in the context of the story, so to say. So, both of them are needed, Bhagavan and Bhagavati, Ishvara and Ishwari, Purusha and Prakriti, being and soul, soul and nature, being and force. They are needed constantly. They had to be now here in the mortal world, come in the same lust. They had to find, they had to work together. Then the creation starts from that point onward, male and female. For what? To put it in a certain sense, to do the work in the spirit, to do the work in the spirit, that is a male aspect. To do the work in matter, that is the female aspect. To do the work in the spirit, that is the being, that is the presence in the transcendental realms, in the spiritual planes. That is what the Purusha does. To work here in nature, in the cosmic manifestation, to work out all the details of dynamism, it is her work. So to do the work in the spirit, it is his. To do the work in matter is her. In nature, to bring it up, she has to work out all the details in the material creation here, down below. From the inconscient nature, if it has to undergo a transformation, she has to work out all those things. He has to bring out the divine possibilities into the material world. But to express those possibilities in matter, it is her job. It is her job, you see. So that is why we need each other to do that kind of a work. Otherwise, the purpose is lost. I cannot do myself, you cannot do yourself alone. We have to come together in the same lust and then work out every detail of it like that. Then there is the fulfillment. Heaven touch fulfills. Obviously, it cannot cancel, it cannot. The purpose is lost. You are knocking off the whole base otherwise. You are knocking off the whole base otherwise. In one of his very early letters, Shebandhu had written to Motilal Roy in Chandranagar, he was there. And he says that our sadhana is the Vedantic sadhana. He says at that time, Vedantic sadhana. And for the transformation, he was, so to say, waiting for the arrival of the mother, the tantric sadhana. The Vedantic sadhana is his job. The tantric sadhana is her assignment. So when they have coming together in the same clasp, same last, it means it is the coming together of the Vedantic and the Tantric, or the Vedantic and the Tantric. We need each other for that. What does the Vedantic sadhana do? It explores all the spiritual possibilities in the entire manifestation, the spiritual possibilities. Climbs up ladder above ladder, slope beyond slope, it climbs up the Vedantic sadhana. All the spiritual planes, all the way up to the transcendent supermind included. That is the spiritual path of it. And it is that spiritual path which establishes the necessary foundation for the tantric work to be initiated. Tantric work to be initiated. And tantric work gives a kind of a precision to the work. It attains to the details, to the minutiae of every work, handles nature That is the tantric part of it. Dealing with nature, inconscient nature here. That inconscient nature has to be prepared to receive what the tantric, so what the Vedantic sadhana has achieved. Vedantic sadhana has achieved something, but to express here in manifestation, you have to prepare the tantric base, tantric background. And that is exactly the kind of a division of work between Sri Aurobindo and the mother. They have come together now in the same lust. They come now together in the same lust. One handling the spiritual, the other handling the tantric. Dealing with the powers of the spirit, expressing those powers in matter. That is what they have been doing all along, you see. And that is what the mold really means, coming together, means basically, you see, work in the spirit and work in matter. Now, to put it in the language of the Upanishad, we can say that the first part, the spiritual path. By the way, the tantric sadhana, you know how the preparation also went along. Mother was with Theon to learn occultism. From death, Theon was the incarnation of death. From death, she is learning the occultism. To know, understand the detailed significance of the material world here. To go into the minute details of it, she has acquired the knowledge of the occultist. And there cannot be any better guide than Theon for that kind of a thing. And in the agenda, you know how, in a way, glowingly she speaks of Theon. Whenever there is a reference to Theon, you can feel the sort of respect she has for him. It is very obvious at every point, you see. She expresses that, you see. It is that occult knowledge which she has acquired from him. And that occult knowledge then, of course, gets connected with the psychic being. It is the psychic being which works out all the details. So, mother's work is to bring out the psychic expression and make that thing the instrument for activities here in nature. That is how the bodies are needed for each other on the physical level. It is the psychic which has to work in the physical. It is the spiritual which has to work in the physical. In fact, when the matter had become very critical, see, toward the end of 1940s, the mother of love, she was ready to descend. She had almost come. That book gives you all the details. She had almost come. But then she found that things are not ready enough for her to work. And she withdraws. And that became a matter of serious concern for mother and Sri Aurobindo. The things are not ready to prepare that. It became a matter of serious concern. At that time, at that point of development, Sri Aurobindo worked out a different strategy, different method, different approach. And on one particular occasion, maybe around towards the end of 1948 or 49, beginning, around that time, Shivananda mentioned to the mother, to carry out our work, one of us may have to depart, may have to go, one of us. And mother said, yes, I am ready. I am ready. Shivananda immediately stopped her. No, you cannot go. If necessary, I will go. If necessary, I will go. And you will have to carry out our work of supramental descent and transformation. He tells her, you will have to carry out our work of supramental descent and transformation. That is a clear mission he has assigned to her. If necessary, I will go and you will carry out this work. And then, of course, in 1950, he withdrew from that point of view. And she was, so to say, forced, commanded to carry out the work of supramental descent and transformation, the painful work. She was standing on the dangerous brink, as you have seen in the book of fate, all the while. There, Shivananda said, if necessary, one of us will go. And she said, I will go. Shivananda said, you will have to carry out this work. Because, he says, your body is better suited for this work than mine. Your body is better suited for the work of supramental transformation than mine. There is something very special in her body, which is not there even in Shivananda's body. Now, it is that kind of a body which has to come out. And when does it come out? When Satyavan dies. He comes back. He comes back with that kind of a body which, so to say, matches with the body of Savitri. There is something lacking, missing, whatever you want to call it. And therefore, when he undergoes that death, then he acquires that body, that kind of a body. And therefore, we need each other in the same lust. We need each other in the same lust. With that kind of an realization, that boon which he has received from the Supreme Himself. Our bodies need each other in the same lust. In fact, Mother herself has disclosed in the agenda that in the normal body of a yogi, there are 7 chakras, centers of dynamic activity, 7, Kundalini as we call them, 7 chakras. And they have to be, of course, awakened, all those 7 chakras, that they become spiritually active. That is the tantric part of the work. Now, Mother says that, but there are, in fact, in the body, 12 chakras, not 7. In the body proper, there are 12 chakras. 3 above the head and 2 below the feet. Plus 7 in the body. 12 chakras. These 12 chakras have to be formed. That is the tantric work. That is the tantric work. 12 chakras have to be formed. Now, when Shivananda says that your body is better suited for that. It means that those 12 chakras in the physical are already present in the mother. In a spiritual body, all those 12 chakras are already present there, which are not there in him, because his path is the spiritual path of ascending to the levels of consciousness. But on the material level, it's a different thing altogether. So those 12 chakras are there in the case. Now, in other words, when our bodies need each other, these 12 chakras have to dynamically come into interaction with each other and then carry out the process of creation further of the divine manifestation here. The process of divine manifestation starts with that. See, Mother narrates, as you know already, that when she was with him, on one particular occasion, she had discovered a box on which her name was written. Yeah, yeah, in Sanskrit. And he asked her to open it, and she opened it, and she saw that the mantra of life in that. Tia wanted to grab that mantra from her. It is she alone who could read it. But Mother refused to reveal it to him. Mother refused to reveal it to him. You can imagine how dangerous it would have been had it gone, that mantra of life, had it gone in the hands of death. In the hands of death. The incarnation of death. You would have grabbed the whole thing, controlled everything. See, what a tremendous moment it is in the spiritual history of the earth. She says, no, I am not going to open it. And at that point of time, Tia became very angry. And he strangled her practically. The mother strangled her practically. Yeah. Cut off a cord of life, because she was in the subtle plane, in the other body, you see. Cut off that cord. But then there was always the protection for the mother, the divine protection. At that time, of course, she did not meet Shreyabandu. They did not know also perhaps each other. But then that protection was there. She somehow managed to come back into the physical body. Yes, he had cut off the cord between the subtle body and the physical body. That is what I mean by strangle, you see. She came back. And then she said later on, that mantra was to be given to Sri Aurobindo. The mantra of life, she gave it to Sri Aurobindo. At that point, we need each other for that purpose. We need each other for that purpose. For carrying out the work. Our bodies need each other in the same lust. See? We are meant for that purpose. That is the supramental lust. And that is how we have come together here. You see, for what? Our bodies need each other in the same love. Let me tell you something, what is there in one of the ancient scriptures. Aitareya Upanishad. One of the Upanishads, one of the most famous Upanishads, very powerful. and there are certain descriptions in it which are extremely revealing. You need to read them. Aitareya Upanishad, volume 12 of the SAVCL, page 361 and 62. SAVCL volumes. Birth certificate volume 20. You got this one? Page 361. It's very, very revealing, very deep. It's good to know some of these things. Say that the spiritual knowledge is there, but mechanism, etc. Now, this Upanishad is at this particular point, chapter 2 of this one, page 361. The beginning of the second chapter. He says, in the male first the unborn child becomes. The child is first born in the male. Yes. This is what it says.
What is male?
That you understand. Let me read. Yeah. In the male first the unborn child becomes. This which is seed is the force and heat of him that from all parts of the creature draws together for becoming. He gives you what it means. You see. Therefore, he bears himself in himself. Male bears the child in himself. Basically, well, I mean, if you want to understand in a biological sense, if at all, in a very crude manner, this is very deep actually. What it means is that, as if in a biological sense, the sperm is first formed in male. Without that, nothing can happen further. You see, if you want to see in a biological sense, but it's not that. The whole consciousness, the whole personality, the whole being is first created in his tapas shakti in him. By the power of concentration, by the power, you cannot draw the child first in you. The spiritual being, you establish him first in you, see. He becomes first in you, see. Therefore, he bears himself in himself by the spiritual tapas, by asterisk, tapasya. And when he casts it into the womb, after having established that in him, then he casts it into the woman. Well, in the biological sense, the sperm is transferred to the woman, you see, into the woman. It is himself he begets. It is he that who has born here, it is he is getting to the woman. And this is the first birth of the spirit. When you have done tapas, out of that tapas shakti, you have concentrated that tapas energy in you, and that energy then you pass on to the female. It means that it's the male who creates that tapas shakti. It is the female nature who bears the tapas of that thing. And when it is like the seed there, seed is sown in this soil. The soil will now absorb it, take care of it, and the tree will come out of it, you see. It will come out, you see. And this is the first birth of the spirit. By doing the tapas, you have created that being in you, and then it has to go forth into the world. He casts it into the woman. Then he says, it becomes one with the woman. He identifies itself, that seed which is the woman. Therefore, it does her no hurt, because it has established that unity, identity with her. So there is no incompatibility, there is no difficulty in absorbing that thing. And she cherishes this self of her husband that has got into her womb. The fetus grows. You see, I mean, this is a very beautiful language. Don't see the biological sense, but you see the metaphysical content of it. Then she cherishes him in the womb. Nature bears him, develops him, brings him out through the period of 9 months. The child is formed. You see, it's a very elaborate, detailed kind of a mechanism by which the child is formed in her, not in him. And see the way, the clockwork manner in which things go in the womb. Precisely, you see. She, the cherisher, must be cherished. This is important. She is the one who is cherishing that seed in her, and she must be worshipped. She must be taken care of fully. Nature, it means. So the woman bears the unborn child, and the man cherishes the boy even from the beginning, or it is born. It takes care of him from a spiritual point of view. And whereas he cherishes the boy, or it is born, before it is born, he is taking care of him spiritually. It is verily himself that he cherishes. For the continuance of these worlds and people, why does he cherish that fetus? For the continuance of this world. The creation has to proceed in the divine progress. For it is even thus the thread of these worlds spins on unbroken. The continuity of the creation is maintained. And this is the second birth of the spirit. So the first birth is in man. The second birth is in the female of the child. Lo, this is the spirit and self of him, and makes it is vicegerent. Now, this his other self, when it has done the works, so when it comes out, it does whatever is to be done in the creation. He does tapas, he takes the evolution forward, he carries out things forward. This, his other self, when it has done the works it came to do and has reached its age, its maturity, its completeness, its fulfillment, when it has grown in the world and established itself in the world, achieved it, it goes hence, and even as it departs. Yes, I have done my job here in this world, and then it departs. It is born again in another world. The birth has taken place, the fetus has grown, it has come out, it has done its tapas on the earth, and it is at that point he does the tapas, he is born again. That is the third birth. And this is the third birth of the spirit. So the first birth is in the male, the second birth is in the female, and the third birth is in the creation. To do the work of creation. This is the third birth which takes place here. Therefore, it was said by the sage Vamadeva. He gives an example. This is the third birth. It was said by Vamadeva, I, Vamadeva, being yet in the womb, while I was still in the womb of the mother, he says, knew all the births of these gods. Already I knew. I was still a fetus. I knew all the births of these gods and their causes. Why they are there, what for they are there, I already knew in the womb of the mother. In 100 cities of iron, they held me down and kept me captive. In the world of nature, they held me back here. But the world of nature is, I broke them all with speed. They try to put me, enring me in the 100 cities of iron. But I broke them all with speed and violence. Like a hawk, I soared up into my heavens, into the beatitude, into the world of immortality. I came out and knew my birth, what part I am here. Now I am back to the heaven, immortal. While yet he lay in the womb, he was still in the womb of the mother, means he was still doing all the tapasya in nature, with the physical nature, with the vital nature, with the mental nature, all those things. Thus said Vamadeva. And because he knew this, therefore, when the strings of the body was snapped asunder, when he is relieved from the body now, he soared forth into yonder world of paradise. Right from the birth, he knew all that thing. And he did the tapas in his life and he went to paradise. And there, having possessed all desires, put death behind. Death could not touch me. That is the tapas I have done. That is the third birth I have taken. Yes, he put death behind him. No more death could touch him at all. That is the third birth. Now, the important point which Savitri is making here is in this context. Yes, these three births are necessary. By the tapas shakti, the spiritual energy is gathered by the male, metaphorically. That energy works now in nature, takes birth, and it is that birth which adds to the tapas. But all along what was happening, that tapas was meant to climb, soar beyond this world. You are ending with 100 cities of iron. You have to break through them like a hawk and climb to paradise. Savitri says, no, we need not climb back to paradise. Our work here now is what? Our bodies need each other for bringing those possibilities of heaven here in this third birth. Vamadeva should carry out his work now on earth, not in heaven. If he has to carry out the work here, it should happen here. It is for that purpose we have come together. We are meeting together for that purpose. Our life now begins in that context, for that purpose. Heaven's touch fulfills, that is the fulfillment, but cancels not our earth. Our bodies need each other in the same lust. Still in our breast, repeat heavenly secret rhythm. Our human heartbeats passionately close. Still, and then she is coming to a very endearing picture. Savitri, why she is talking of all that thing, she is coming to a very sweet, homely kind of a picture. Still am I, she who came to thee with a murmur of sunlit leaves upon this forest verge. I am the Madan, I am Savitri. She is recollecting their first meeting. At that time, I had come all the way to the forest as a Mudran, Savitri, as a princess. I had come here a year ago, exactly a year ago. Our sunlit leaves upon this forest verge where we have met here. Yes, it is that, oh Savitri, I am here still for you. The way in which we met and immediately recognize each other's identity, yes, it is that. So although we are coming from somewhere else, now from heaven or whatever it is, we have come from the transcendent, from other realms, we have come together now. I am still that Madran now, that human Savitri, that physical Savitri. Still am I she who came to thee, This was exactly 1 year ago that come together and met in the forest, the first meeting. I am that. The way in which you loved me at that time, yes, that love is still intact because I am still that Matran, that Savitri. All that I was before, therefore she says, before, see, I am to thee still. Yes, all that is there. Close comrade of thy thoughts and hopes and toil, all happy contraries, I would join for thee. This is what Satyavan was saying. Satyavan was saying that my life, yes, I have seen the spiritual glories of heaven. I have lived the sages, I have identified myself with the nature and all that, but I find something lacking in my life. He had told to Savitri at that time, there is something still lacking in my life. There is this and that. This world divorced from spirit, that world not knowing matter. There is a kind of a division, dichotomy, a separation between spirit and matter. And I am not able to find a link between the two, between spirit and matter. That was his dilemma before they got married. And then at that time he told her, Savitri, look, Savitri, you have come. And I now find the link between the two. The connection between spirit and matter is because of you. And therefore she says here, all that I was before, I am still to thee. Close comrade of thy thoughts and home, all happy contraries. This is what was there, spirit and matter basically. And the golden link is Savitri. That we had discovered. I would join for thee. All sweet relations marry in life. Well, this is all right. Now you see kind of a elaboration. You see, I am the kingdom even as thou art mine, the sovereign and the slave of thy desire. Yes, I am the queen, the mistress of the house, the governess of house. But at the same time, I am the slave. I am at your disposal. I am your dasi. I am Rani. I am the queen, but I am also your servant. I am dasi. Throne possessor, the sister of thy soul. So the soul is a feminine. So his soul and her soul, they are sisters of each other. And mother of thy wants, so whatever you want, whatever the child wants, the wants, the desires, the longings of the child are fulfilled by the mother. That is what I am for you. Thou art my world, the earth I need, the heaven my thoughts desire, the world I inhabit, and the God I adore. Now here again, we see, thy body is my body's counterpart. Thy body is my body's counterpart. Certainly, this is not for sexual reunion. Certainly not. It is not that. It is a kind of a complementarity of the spiritual body and the tantric body. And they need each other. There has to be spiritual tapas. There has to be the preparation, the readiness of nature. They are the counterparts. They have to come together, the physical and the spiritual, they have to meet together on the physical and carry things forward. Thy body is my body's counterpart, whose every limb my answering link desire, whose heart is key to all my heartbeats. This I am, and thou to me, O Satyavan. Our physical union is of that kind, that complementarity of expression in the process of creation. That is what we are here for. That is our wedding. That is our union. That is our coming together. That is our marriage. Our wedded walk to life begins anew. She says, anew. Anew because we had discovered a new meaning to life and things all around here after our identification with the Supreme. We have identified ourselves with the Supreme. So the way the Supreme looks, it is in that manner now our new relation begins. That is why it is anew. Our vision is now that vision of the Supreme. And therefore, no gladness lost, no depth of mortal joy. Let us go through this new world. That is the same. Well, this is what we have seen just now. Why want to go through the new world? She says new world. You see? Because a new meaning has come to this world. Savitri, a new meaning has come to this world now. You see? The whole outlook has changed. And as I said, it is not just subjective, it is also objective. For it is given back, but it is known. A playing ground, dwelling house of God. This is what this world is. It is the house of God. Ishavasya, for the habitation of God. Ishavasya, for his habitation, house of God. Who hides himself in bird and beast and man. He is there everywhere. We don't see it, but now that new identification has come, that identity has come. Sweetly to find himself again by love, by oneness. His presence lays the rhythms of life that seek for mutual joy in spite of pain. We have each other found. Well, they had come together a year ago, but now they have found themselves again in a different manner because of that identification with the Supreme. So it is from the way the Supreme would look at them, it is that now we are discovering amongst ourselves. It is not human Savitri meeting human Satyavan. It is the Supreme Savitri who is meeting the Supreme Satyavan. The Supreme Savitri meeting the Supreme Satyavan. We have each other found, O Satyavan, in the great light of the discovered soul. Until now, we had not discovered the soul in a way. But now the discovery of the soul is what? What is the discovery of the soul? How? Because we have met the identity with the Supreme. That is the crucial phrase all along in the talk. This is the most crucial phrase. In fact, everything is based upon this phrase, whole of our description. We have born identity with the Supreme. And that has given her a different consciousness altogether. Therefore, say, we have each other found, O Satyavan, in the great light of the discovered soul, that identification. Let us go back, for Eve is in the skies. So they are talking, she is explaining all that has happened quickly to Satyavan, and she is recollecting, coming back to the earthly scene, so to say, that they had to return soon to the hermitage. We had to go back and give all that joy which you had discovered to the world. That is why she wants to go back to the hermitage. Let's go back, for Eve is in the skies. Now grief is dead and serene bliss remains, the heart of all our days forevermore. Although it is going to be Eve, but it will be day also. Now grief is dead and serene bliss remains. Serene, not kind of gloomy or passion. It is tranquil, peaceful. The heart of all our days forevermore. Lo, all these beings in this wonderful world, now she is showing him the whole world around, you see. The tree, the forest, everything, you see. Let us give joy to all, for joy is ours. Yes, we have won the joy because of that identity. Let that joy now be shared. For what we have won that joy? Not for ourselves, but for the world. The joy we have won from the Supreme, not for ourselves, but for the world. Therefore she says, for joy is ours. For not for, oh, she says here, there you are. For not for ourselves alone our spirits came. She is conscious of her mission all along. At every moment, at every instance, she is conscious of her mission. We have not come here for ourselves. We have come for the sake of the world. For not for ourselves alone our spirits came. Yes, we have come, of course, here to be together, but not for ourselves alone. Out of the veil of the unmanifest, therefrom we have come, from the transcendent, from the absolute, the veil of the manifest. Beyond Satchidananda means that is her origin. Therefrom they are coming from the absolute, which stands even, meaning the Supreme Himself. Beyond Satchidananda, the Supreme Himself, beyond Satchidananda. It is from there we have come. And that veil of the unmanifest is there to remove that veil, to bring into manifestation what He wants us to do. That is our work. Why we have come here? To give joy to others. Why we have come? To give joy to others. Now this phrase, veil of the unmanifest. In the same Upanishad, what we have seen just now, there is a phrase, veil of the unrevelation. The Upanishad, let me check that. Yeah, the veil of the unrevelation. Page 360. Same. Just before what we read. We have come from that unrevelation, which has not been exposed, spoken out, given to us. It is from that we have come here. From the unrevelation. For not for ourselves alone our spirits came, out of the veil of the unmanifest, out of the deep, immense, unknowable. You see, she is talking of unmanifest, unknowable. Why unknowable? See, the unknown can be known. The unknown can be known. But there is no way of knowing the unknowable. Because unknowable means what? Everything is held back as potential. Beauty, love, joy, strength, whatever you want to call it, everything is kind of held back. And therefore it is unknowable when it is held back. When it comes into expression, it may not be knowable to our cognition, but it is possible. When it is only in the potential form, it remains unknowable. it remains unknowable. When it comes into manifestation, it can become knowable. What is in manifestation can become knowable. What is not in manifestation but potentially held back is the unknowable. Is unknowable. So we have come from that, from the pure absolute. This is for the first time Savitri is disclosing her divine origin. Not only hers, but theirs, Satyavan and Savitri. And for what? To give joy to others. They come for that. Not for ourselves alone, our spirits came out of the veil of the unmanifest, out of the deep, immense, unknowable, on the ignorant breast of dubious earth, into the ways of laboring, seeking men. Two fires that burn toward that parent sun, two rays that travel to the original light. She's We need each other, two, the Vedantic and the Tantric, or what you want to call it in another language. These are the things which will go and climb up, you see. These are the possibilities of nature have to become the expressions of the spirit. Possibilities of nature have to become the expressions of the spirit. That is one way. That is the Tantric way, as we have been seeing. To explore the possibilities of the spirit and prepare them to enter into nature. That is the Vedantic. That is the job of he. This is the job of she. Truly. To prepare possibilities of the Supreme in the transcendent is one job. That is the first birth. To give to those possibilities birth in nature, that is the second birth. And when these two come together in the manifestation, that is the third birth. What Acharya says. That is the third birth. See, Ashwapati, he is doing the spiritual sadhana. He is doing the yoga of the Supreme. Savitri is doing the yoga of Shakti. There are two different yogas. Savitri's yoga is a different yoga than Ashwapati's yoga. Two paths. Ashwapati is climbing the hierarchy of the spiritual planes. Explores the entire cosmic dimension, goes all the way into the world of Satchidananda. See the problem of this creation. And what does it do? In the house of the spirit, Canto 3 of Book 3, in the house of the spirit, he establishes a new creation. That is the first birth. He brings that creation first in him. That is the first birth. He establishes that creation in the transcendent, the new creation. A new and marvelous world arose. That is what we got there. A new and marvelous world. He establishes that in the supreme, in the transcendent. That is his work. Now, the problem is, all right, that world is there. So what? What is the use of that world? That world can come down upon earth, can manifest upon earth, can be in the mortal world only if the work of nature is being done, and the work of nature to be done is by Savitri. The Vedantic path is done by Ashwapati. The Tantric path has to be done by Savitri. Then, when that is happening, then the second birth takes place. And she has said, after 29th February 1956, Mother says, a new world is born, born, born. That is the second birth. The first birth was already done by the Supreme Himself there. In the male, the child is first born. Now, here, the second birth in nature of the child takes place. Born, born, born. Now, when that birth takes place, then the third birth of the new creation, manifestation of living in that is the third birth. That is what say, into the ways of laboring, seeking man, two fire that burn toward the parent sun. One this, the other one, two fire that burn. They are complementary, they are necessary to each other to do the work. It is not Savitri alone who can do that. It is not mother alone who can do that. There is a part to be done by Savitri, there is a part to be done by the mother. And they are different. There is a kind of an operational division of work between them. The consciousness is one, but in the dynamics of work, in the pragmatism of doing things, here there is an operational division. This is Shavantu's work, this is mother's work. Both are necessary. He wills, I execute. Two rays that travel to the original light, to lead man's soul towards truth and God. We are born. See what a statement she is making. To lead man's soul towards truth and God. We are born. To draw the checkered scheme of mortal life into some semblance of the immortal's plan. To shape it close to an image of God, a little nearer to the idea divine, the real idea. Idea divine, the real idea. Real idea, the experimental idea, which takes the concrete shape. Real idea in life divine is equivalent to supermind. Equivalent to supermind, real idea. Real hyphen idea, both capital R and I, real idea. To lead man's soul towards truth and God, we are born. So she is very clear about her mission. All that thing, to draw, etc., basically. But the entire mission of Savitri is presented in this one single line. To lead man's soul towards truth and God, we are born. Now, one can write some 50 pages, 100 pages on this line. No, it's not there yet. It's not there yet. One can write. Yeah. See, you look at this man. How difficult this is. How difficult this is. To lead man's soul towards truth and God is okay. It's very plain, simple and all that. But then why does he make a little distinction between truth and God? If you simply... Yeah, but then you have to keep on writing now. Write a book. See, truth and God, he says that, to lead man's soul towards truth and God, and that is the incarnate work, in work of the incarnation, with the mission. Everything is now charged in this one single sentence. He is making a slight difference between truth and God, you see. God is the supreme who governs everything. Truth is something which comes into expression. into expression, into reality, into expression. There is a kind of a dynamism in truth, and behind that is the support, the upholder of truth, who is God. It's a very powerful line from that point of view. See. To lead man's soul towards truth and God, we are born. See, I mean, the simple statement would have been to lead man's soul towards the divine, we are born. Wouldn't do. See,
We are so far away from this, so
yeah.
anything will do.
So that's the kind
Divine
of.
will also.
See. So that is what. Now the point here is one thing which kind of troubles us is, well, these will keep on troubling us all the while. Truth and God, all right, all right, all right. Now this is a statement which Savitri is making. To lead man's soul towards truth and God, we are born. Savitri has definitely this realization, recognition of her birth. Why she is here for? But now she is claiming it also on behalf of Satyavan. She is claiming it also on behalf of Satyavan. Does he know that? Yeah. Otherwise, she would not express it to him. You see? She is expressing it on behalf of Satyavan. Look, awake for this purpose.
I have one question.
Yeah, sure.
Where he says here, let us give joy to all.
Yes.
For joy is ours. So she is revealing the divine origin.
Let us give joy to all, for joy is ours.
Yes. So you said she's revealing for the first time her divine origin. But ultimately, all life is divine origin.
No, let us give joy to all, for joy is ours. She says, lo, all these beings in this wonderful world. She is identifying ours with all of them.
But also that there is a divine origin where she comes from. She is coming from the divine. Her origin is in the divine beyond.
No, you see, she has won it. She, in other words, their soul, their preparation, their mission is there to do that. Man is not, see, it is from this point onward now that man will awake to that possibility of the divine. And then only he will get that joy. Now that the possibility has been opened out, the doors are thrown open by Savitri's work, the joy can flow out to the world. And see this line, let us give joy to all, for joy is ours. It's a monosyllabic line. Let us give joy, spondy, to all, for joy is ours. Very forceful line. See. Perfect pentametric line, monosyllabic.